A single faded drawing, folded so many times that its edges had begun to tear apart, changed everything a millionaire believed about love, medicine, and miracles. He had spent millions of dollars searching for the world's greatest specialists, built private laboratories, flown across continents chasing impossible treatments, and watched every expensive promise fail. Yet the answer that transformed his children's lives had been quietly waiting inside his own home all along, hidden in the gentle heart of the one person almost everyone overlooked. Before we continue, if you believe kindness can heal wounds that money never can, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so our community can continue sharing stories that remind us that compassion still changes lives. Graham Whitmore had built one of the largest architectural companies in North America. His name appeared in business magazines, charity galas, and newspaper headlines. Glass towers carried his signature across major cities, and investors admired his sharp instincts. From the outside, he seemed like a man who had defeated every obstacle life could create. Inside his enormous estate, however, every morning began with the same painful silence. His greatest treasures were not his buildings or his wealth but his 10-year-old twins, Callum and Eliza. They had been born healthy, energetic, and endlessly curious. They spent their early years running through gardens, collecting butterflies, painting pictures, and filling every room with laughter. Then, after a mysterious viral illness, everything changed. Both children slowly developed a rare neurological condition that weakened their muscles, stole their balance, and surrounded their days with endless hospital appointments. The finest doctors searched for answers. Experimental therapies came and went. Clinical trials raised hope before quietly ending in disappointment. Graham donated fortunes to medical research because every specialist promised that another breakthrough might be close. Every hopeful report became another emotional collapse. His children smiled for him, but behind those brave smiles lived exhaustion far beyond their years. The mansion gradually became less like a home and more like a private medical center. Therapists arrived each morning. Nutritionists redesigned every meal. Specialists monitored every symptom. Expensive equipment filled rooms that had once held toys and books. Graham believed that if enough money was spent, suffering would eventually surrender. Yet something precious slowly disappeared. Joy. The children still received perfect medical care, but laughter became increasingly rare. Among the household staff worked a quiet woman named Margaret Ellison. She had recently turned 62 and had spent decades caring for families after losing her own husband many years earlier. Her hands showed the signs of honest work, and her smile carried the calm warmth that instantly made children feel safe. She cleaned rooms carefully, watered flowers faithfully, and treated every photograph in the house with respect, dusting each frame as though preserving someone's memories. Unlike many employees, Margaret never focused on Graham's fortune. She noticed the tired expression hidden behind his confident posture and the loneliness resting inside two children surrounded by machines instead of childhood. While polishing the family library one bright afternoon, Margaret discovered a dusty wooden box tucked behind old books. It had apparently remained untouched for years. Inside lay dozens of childhood drawings created by Callum and Eliza before their illness. Bright crayons covered every page with colorful adventures. Castles floated among clouds. Giant trees sheltered happy families. Smiling birds flew over oceans filled with impossible blue whales. One drawing stopped Margaret completely. It showed the twins holding hands beneath a huge oak tree beside a small wooden cabin. Across the top, in uneven handwriting, they had written, "Our happy place." Margaret gently carried the picture downstairs and quietly placed it where Graham could see it while reviewing business reports. He stared at the drawing for a very long time. He remembered that tiny cabin. Years earlier, before success consumed every hour of his schedule, he had owned a modest countryside property where weekends meant fishing, painting, walking through wildflower fields, and eating simple homemade lunches outdoors. The children had adored that place more than any luxury vacation. As hospitals replaced holidays, he had sold the property without another thought, convinced every dollar should support medical treatment. Margaret never told him what to do. She simply returned the drawing to him. Something shifted inside Graham that afternoon. For the first time in years, he asked himself a question no specialist had ever raised. When had his children last truly felt alive instead of treated? The question refused to leave him. Within weeks, Graham managed to purchase the same countryside property from its current owners. The cabin remained almost unchanged. The giant oak tree still spread its branches across the open field. Wildflowers danced beneath gentle breezes exactly as they had years before. Doctors approved daytime visits, believing fresh air could at least improve the children's emotional well-being. The first afternoon they returned, something remarkable happened. Nothing magical cured their illness. Nothing impossible occurred. Instead, Callum laughed. It was only a brief laugh after watching butterflies land on his wheelchair blanket, but Graham realized he had not heard that sound in nearly 2 years. Eliza asked for paintbrushes. Margaret sat beside them beneath the oak tree while they painted birds, flowers, and smiling clouds exactly as they once had. No machines buzzed nearby. No appointment schedules interrupted the afternoon. There were only gentle winds, warm sunshine, colorful paint, and time. The visits became a weekly tradition. Margaret packed simple homemade lunches instead of expensive catered meals. The children planted herbs, watered flowers, collected smooth stones, and learned the names of birds visiting nearby branches. Their illness remained difficult, but something invisible began changing. Their stress levels dropped. Their sleep improved. Their appetite slowly returned. Therapists noticed greater motivation during rehabilitation sessions because the twins now had dreams beyond hospitals. They wanted enough strength to paint beneath the oak tree again each weekend. Medical progress that had remained frozen for months slowly accelerated. Doctors admitted they could not fully explain why. One rehabilitation physician eventually spoke words Graham never expected to hear. Children do not heal with medicine alone. Hope changes the body more than most people realize. Graham suddenly remembered the drawing. He remembered Margaret. She had not discovered a secret drug. She had discovered the forgotten part of healing. Months passed beneath bright morning skies and golden afternoons. Graham reduced his business responsibilities for the first time in decades. Instead of endless meetings, he spent daylight hours building birdhouses with Callum, helping Eliza paint landscapes, and sharing quiet picnics beneath the ancient oak. Money had once purchased every treatment imaginable. Presents cost nothing. Yet it became his greatest investment. One sunny afternoon Margaret revealed another surprise. While organizing storage boxes, she had uncovered an old scrapbook created by the twins before they became ill. Every page listed dreams they hoped to experience together. Ride horses. Learn photography. Grow sunflowers taller than Dad. Bake apple pies. Feed rescued animals. Watch clouds without checking the time. Many dreams required almost no money. Only time. Together they decided to complete every dream that their health safely allowed. The scrapbook transformed the entire family's daily routine. Instead of measuring success by medical reports alone, they celebrated every completed memory. The first sunflower reaching above Callum's shoulder. The first apple pie that came out slightly burned but filled the cabin with laughter. The first blurry photograph Eliza proudly framed despite its imperfections. The first rescued puppy that curled beside both wheelchairs during lunch. With every shared experience, the twins seemed emotionally stronger. Their determination during therapy astonished everyone. 1 year later, although they still lived with physical limitations, both children achieved progress doctors had once considered highly unlikely. They stood with assistance longer than expected. Their coordination improved. Their confidence returned. Most importantly, happiness had found its way home again. News of Graham's enormous donations had once filled newspapers. Now another story quietly spread through rehabilitation centers. A wealthy father had discovered that the greatest missing ingredient in his children's recovery had not been another expensive machine but ordinary moments filled with love, patience, purpose, and peace. Graham established a foundation unlike any he had previously funded. Instead of focusing only on medical technology, it created family healing retreats where seriously ill children and exhausted parents could spend meaningful daytime hours together outdoors, making memories instead of simply waiting for better test results. Every retreat included gardens, painting stations, walking paths, music, reading corners, and quiet spaces where families could reconnect beyond illness. When reporters asked Graham which famous scientist inspired the foundation, he surprised everyone. He pointed toward Margaret. She stood quietly arranging flowers, embarrassed by the attention. Graham explained that she had found something every expert had overlooked. She reminded a broken father that children are not only patients. They are dreamers. Artists. Explorers. Sons. Daughters. Human hearts that need hope as desperately as medicine. Margaret never accepted personal praise. She simply smiled the same gentle smile she had worn from the beginning. She believed love was most powerful when offered without expecting recognition. Years later the faded drawing remained framed inside Graham's office. Whenever business pressures threatened to consume him again, he looked at the picture of two smiling children beneath a giant oak tree and remembered the lesson that transformed his family forever. The greatest miracle had never been hidden inside a laboratory. It had been hidden inside forgotten memories, shared afternoons, gentle kindness, and one compassionate housekeeper who noticed a simple drawing everyone else had ignored. Before we reach the end of this journey, tell us in the comments, what simple act of kindness has changed your life or restored your hope when everything seemed impossible? Your story may become the encouragement someone else desperately needs today. Callum and Eliza continued growing with courage, embracing each new day with grateful hearts instead of fear. Graham never stopped supporting medical research, but he also never again confused wealth with wisdom. Margaret remained part of the family, not because she cleaned their home, but because she had quietly healed the broken pieces no amount of money could reach. Their home, once filled with silent worry, slowly echoed again with laughter, paintbrushes tapping against jars, birds singing outside open windows, and the comforting reminder that miracles sometimes arrive dressed in ordinary clothes, carrying nothing more than compassion and the courage to truly see another person's pain. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey. May this story remind all of us that while money can build magnificent houses, only love, kindness, and precious time can truly make them feel like home.